Hi, everyone. On behalf of ASA and the Step Up team, I welcome you to this webinar about using tech and gadgets in the English classroom. My name is Paula Simões. I am one of the writers of the Step Up course book, and I'm going to talk to you about the reasons or the motives, the advantages for us to use media and tech in the classroom. So some of the important or interesting reasons why media and tech work in the classroom are it can make teaching and learning more exciting. If you use stuff that brings the real life of the kids and the environment they are used to living in, if you bring them into the classroom, they will more easily engage and accept the classroom work that we are going to propose to them. And then there is another part of really working with authentic materials, gadgets, apps, things that they are used to working with and playing with in their daily life, or videos and other stuff that can be brought from the real life, from the authentic thing into the work they are doing in the classroom. So these are some of the advantages and reasons why media and tech really are strong working tools in the classroom, but also to use the skills the students already have. If you think about it, our kids are the real tech users. We sort of follow through and follow them. So if we can find ways and things for them to bring their skills, what they do best, what they know best into the classroom, I'm sure we will have them involved in classroom work in a more profound way and in a more interested way. Besides, what can you use media and tech in the classroom for? Well, you can use them for creating content, to produce videos, to produce video clips, to produce interactive stories. So to use the work the students do and have that work be produced or be uploaded to a digital or technological platform, and sort of have a place to showcase their work. As far as this is concerned, you can, for instance, use the songs in the course book and ask your students to produce video clips from the songs, their own video clips from the songs. And then you would have a personal interpretation and a personal point of view on learned topics, which is really important to have because it causes for creating opinion, to making our students, our young students, have opinions and bring about their opinions about things that they are learning in the classroom. Other suggestion would be to use trailers and documentaries to have students simulate interviews with the people that they are watching in the trailers and documentaries. And this way be more active in their learning, for instance, in a trailer or a documentary in which they would watch, I don't know, Sir David Attenborough or Jaden Smith or Emma Watson. They would be able to create interviews and think about the questions they would ask those celebrities or those well-known people, about things that are of common interest and that are being taught and learned in the classroom at that particular point. So this would be one of the suggestions. Also, for debating, lots of apps can be used to make some classroom activities more friendly and more interactive. So we will show you how to use some apps in the duration of this webinar, but some suggestions, for instance, to create and to make debating more lively, you could use a poll such as Poll Everywhere, in which some students could be the audience answering polls and questions about the debate they were watching live. And this would bring an interactivity and a sort of real world simulation that would, I'm sure, students would appreciate very much. You could also use, for instance, media and tech for differentiated learning. You will find that this year in Step Up 11, we have an interesting suggestion about how to use video in a sort of a streaming concept. But if you use different videos in the classroom and you use them as if they were part of a streaming platform, different videos for different groups, this will result in different products and different content creating that students will present and share. And this will bring more perspectives and more different points of view to the whole class instead of all the groups working with the same video. This will be also really time saving for the teacher, working different topic perspectives at the same time, perspectives, not topics, in the same topic, working through different perspectives and points of view. Other ideas would be to produce storytelling. And there are two apps, very interesting and very helpful as far as storytelling is concerned, Writer and Storybird. Both of them allow for interactive storytelling, meaning that students will have the opportunity to write, to upload images, to upload sound, to upload hyperlinks. So this would be a more interactive and a more dynamic way of writing, introduce writing into the classroom. And this, I'm sure, would also be very appealing to the students. So they can use whichever other elements they like to include in the story, and this will make them really engaged in the work they are doing. And also, if you want to use apps that would allow you to create learning awareness or self-assessment in the classroom, digital tools such as Pear Deck or Floop or ClassFlow, of which we are going to show you something later in this webinar, will allow for students self-assessment, learning awareness with feedback on the spot. And we know how important these things are nowadays with the different perspectives and paradigms of learning, teaching, and assessing, in which feedback and almost immediate feedback is so important to let our students know what they are doing well, what they are doing not so well, and how they can improve the things they are not doing so well. So this is all very, very much important. What is going to happen now is Margarida, my colleague, will tell you something a little bit more detailed about using apps and gadgets in the classroom. And after Margarida, Dave will show you some very interesting strategies about using video in the classroom. And I'm sure you'll have lots of fun watching both of them showing what they have to show you. It's all from me. Thank you very much. And I will leave you with Margarida. Bye and see you soon.
Okay, so now is my turn. I'm just going to give you some examples of simple apps that you can use in your classroom with your students. Our first suggestion is Survey Monkey, because it's really very useful to know what students think about any topic. So you can either use it to create surveys, or, for example, you can also use it to create quizzes or to apply the quizzes that you have in your books. it's very easy and simple to use and to create, so it's user-friendly. Another suggestion is for everywhere. It's a very good tool when you want to know, when you want your students to vote for something. For example, one of the activities we have in the book is a presentation. So students have to defend a position about a specific topic. And you could, for example, use this app after the presentation, and students could vote on the best student according to their opinion. Flipgrid is also very interesting. Instead of, you have lots of speaking activities in the book in Step Up 11. And if you don't want to have them all presented in the classroom, you can use Flipgrid, where you can launch the activity using your own video, for example, and then students add their responses. For example, in this case, we are talking about celebrities, so whether they can be positive or negative role models, and students can present their videos using Flipgrid. It's also great because it allows you to give some feedback, private feedback, so that they can use for an improvement. Moving on, QR code monkey. This is quite simple, and if you have time or feel curious about it, and if you use your mobile phones, you can actually see one of the responses in the QR code that you have here on this page. So the question was, I think buying better means, and then students can provide their answers by using QR codes instead of the normal paper and pencil way. I think many of us already use Padlet. I think Padlet is really interesting because it allows you to showcase everything that students do throughout the year. And in this case, what I did was to prepare a Padlet for a specific task. The students are supposed to write the comments about their comments on a song, and they can then show them to their classmates and to all the others that have the link using Padlet. It's also good because they can provide each other's feedback or comment, and so it creates a certain interactivity between students themselves. Okay. Then we also have Geniali, which is, it has lots of potential. So you can use it to create timelines, you can use it to create presentations, and also escape rooms, which is something I find really interesting and useful, especially if you want to review some of the topics that you have been discussing in class, either grammar topics or they can be vocabulary, whatever. So I've prepared one for you to try if you're curious about it and want to see if it fits your purposes in the classroom. So this is a situation. You have to imagine that someone stole pages from Step Up 11 and hid them in the museum. So we really need your help to get them back. So in order to get them back, what we need to do is to answer to some questions, okay? If you want to try, you can use the QR code in your mobile phone, or I can walk you through the adventure here. Yes, we have to accept the cookies, and here it is, this escape room Step Up 11. So this is just something very simple to see so that you can see the potential that this app has. So these questions and activities are connected to the presentation, to the webinar that you're watching, and let's see how it works. So this is the escape room from Step Up 11, and we will start now. As I was telling you, this is the situation. We are getting inside room 1 and see what challenges lie ahead. So in the first slide, you have a question about why working with media and tech in the classroom. Is it because it's cheap? Is it because it's more appealing for students, or is it because it's safe? I would go for this one. And there you go. You have one page from Step Up 11. So why is content creating important? If you listen to what Paolo was saying, it is in a way because students feel more engaged. Another page from Step Up 11. So what is Paul everywhere? It's a Paul app, right? So we have completed the first room. Going to the second room in our presentation, it's a different type of exercise. It's like true or false because we only have two options. So working different topics at the same time can be impossible for the teacher or time saving for the teacher. According to what Paulo said, it's also time saving for the teacher. So in digital stories, images and interactivity make stories come alive. 2 more pages. So digital tools make feedback on the spot easier or more complete. Easier would be the right answer, and we have completed room number 2. Moving forward to room number 3, we just have to choose the pictures we think we may find in Unit 4. So I would go for this one, and there you go, another page recovered. And also this one, and finally, the last page from room 3. So this can be used to review lots of structures and vocabulary and so on. The last room, the main room, let's see if we can answer the 2 questions that we have here for you. So which apps can be used as storytelling tools? Ingle Writer and Storybird would be the 2 answers. And which app can you use to create escape rooms? Of course, Genially would be the right answer. And then again, we have completed the main room. So, congratulations for helping us recover all the missing pages. Thank you. So this is all from me. Dave, I hand it to you now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paula. I'm going to continue now with some ideas and activities and approaches to using video in the classroom. Video, of course, being one of the safer ways to use tech in the classroom, because if you're using the Step Up course, you don't need to worry about internet connection. All the videos indicated in the book are there and available for you at the touch of a button. So nothing much can go wrong, we hope. While I'm using video in the classroom, I have aims at the back of my mind, things that I'm hoping to achieve with the students. The first of all being enjoyment. Hopefully, students will enjoy the pieces of video, and it's generally true, isn't it? That students like to see videos in the classroom. It's the sort of thing that they go looking for themselves on their own, in their leisure time. It's part of the world they live in. Almost every piece of information that comes at young people these days, or people in general, is accompanied by image, still image, or more and more often video as well. And we're hoping that by bringing that into the classroom, it will give them some enjoyment. Connecting the visual and the linguistic, it's useful for them to start to realize that there is a whole range of language that they can take from these videos to enrich their resources. And we're hoping that they will learn not only linguistic things, but also non-linguistic about the wider world around them. All the issues that are covered in the Step Up series have video input to accompany them in a different voice, a different viewpoint, and there's always something that we can learn and take from that. Learning experiences are very fulfilling, obviously. And they get the opportunity to practice and develop their 21st century skills, the skills of critical thinking, making decisions, problem solving, justifying, using their creativity. All of these they can bring to bear on the videos, and it's a very natural thing for them to do, and it's going to develop their competences and help them in the future. So those are some of the aims which we hope will be behind our use of video. Some of the principles that I, again, have in mind when I'm using video. And especially when I was director of studies of a language school for nearly 17 years, and very often at the end of the Christmas term or the end of the year, I'd ask teachers, so what are you going to do with the kids? Because obviously they don't feel like working much in the last lesson. And they'd often say, I'm going to show them a video. And I'd say, all right, what are you going to do with that video? And they'd say, I'm going to show it to them. And I'd say, no, you're not. You're going to do something with it. You're going to make it active watching, because they can sit and watch videos at home. If they're coming to the classroom where the idea is that they are going to grow and develop and learn, then they need to be active while watching. They need to have a task. It doesn't need to be very challenging. It doesn't need to be something that's going to make them sweat all the way through, but they need something that's going to really help them clue into the video, take language from it, take understanding, gain comprehension. And one of the ways they can do that is just by predicting what's going to happen next and then checking their predictions. Prediction is an incredibly useful tool for entering a video. They would never go onto YouTube and just click on something at complete random and hope that they enjoy it. They would look at the thumbnail of the video, they would look at the title of the video, they would see who it was produced by, and they would start this prediction process before they start watching. Early on prediction is important. It's part of the natural way we do things. And once they've got this idea, and once they've got into the video, then getting them involved and talking about the issue at hand, giving their opinions. Obviously, young people of this age have opinions and they want to be able to voice them. Giving them that voice, giving them that choice, getting them involved is very important. And making the video not just a watching experience, but also then a platform for production, be it something written or something spoken. Production is an easy next step from video, leads naturally on. Moving on, here's another video called Save Ralph. That's Ralph in the picture you can see there. And talking of using vocabulary to get inside the video, we're going to watch the first excerpt of this video. I've just turned the sound off because I think this type of activity is much more useful if students aren't distracted by dialogue at the beginning, especially if it's dialogue that they might not understand and they might feel they're getting lost early on. So a vocabulary exercise, I get students to play what I call vocabulary ping pong, where in pairs they each name something they can see in the video, and then the other student has 2 or 3 seconds to answer with a new vocabulary item, and then the ball gets flipped back between the students by each time. There isn't a real ball, of course, but the students take turns and have 2 or 3 seconds to name a new vocabulary item from the video until you choose to stop it and get a little feedback about things they named or couldn't name from what they saw. So let's have a look at Ralph in this video. So there you go. That's Ralph. That's the introduction. Lots of things, obviously, that students can see and name in that video. Some things that they can see but maybe can't name. So you can add a little bit to the vocabulary at the feedback moment. And that gives them a first step into the video. But they're not all the way in yet. I think if we use an activity like, again, one of the Harvard activities, See, Think, Wonder, then it gives them a real opportunity to start exploring and thinking and making in-depth predictions. The first step of See, Think, Wonder is what we just did. What can you see? Naming only the concrete things in the video or in the image. For example, I can see the kitchen, I can see a mug, I can see a clock, I can see a telephone. All of the concrete things. I can see a rabbit. The rabbit is wearing clothes. Etc. Now, the next step is to ask them what they think. what inferences can they make from that? Things that are not confirmed yet, but they think are true. So I think the rabbit lives in that house. I think he lives like a human. I don't think he's very well, because he's got a very red eye and a bandage on his ear, etc. They can make inferences, they can justify those inferences and share everything that they think about the video. And then finally is, what do you wonder? What are you curious about? What do you want to find out in the rest of the video? For example, I wonder if there are humans in his world. I wonder what he's talking about. I wonder whether he's okay. I wonder how he got that red eye, etc. Using I wonder and all the question words where, when, what, why, how, etc. Start to talk about what they're curious about. And then watch the rest of the video and confirm. I'm not going to show the video now because we'd go on far too long. It's an absolutely fantastic video. It's a little bit disturbing at some points. Fine to show in the classroom. But it's something that's going to really get the students thinking, and it will get them thinking of all sorts of opinion questions as well about the use of animal testing, the purposes of it, the validity of it, etc., and how this all ties in with the theme in the Step Up book. And so we're going to move on to one more piece of video. This time is a television ad from Levi's. Again, a little excerpt here from the book, showing the tasks that the students have, linking this video to the text they have just read, asking them to interpret and use their critical thinking skills to decide what's being addressed in the video. We're going to watch the opening scenes here, and we're going to talk about another way to get inside the video. So let's just work with the first few seconds. Again, I'm going to show you the opening scenes of the video, and then we'll stop and have a look at a task. So there we go. Just a few seconds. But probably, we hope, questions already forming in the minds of the students, and this activity, again, another from the Harvard website, is called Question Starts. And basically, it asks them to think of all the questions they would like to ask about what they've already seen and what they think is going to happen next. So, for example, who are these young people? Why are we being shown them? What will they be talking about? Where are they, etc.? All the questions, again, using the usual range of question words: who, why, when, where, what, how, which, and some others which I can't remember, to really start thinking about what they're going to see, hear, listen to, and learn. Once you've got a good selection of questions, you can make notes of these on the board. Then they can discuss them quickly in pairs and groups and share any ideas in the whole class. And then, of course, they watch the rest of the video and find if their questions were answered and if their ideas were confirmed. Nice and simple, but using the students' own input, their own curiosity, to provide a task to answer and predict the content of the video. Teacher guidance is almost zero. All you give them is a list of question words. They come up with the task. Opinions, obviously, once they've watched the video, which of course is from Levi's, is about fashion and how this connects with the fast fashion crisis in the industry, then opinion questions again will be easy to draw from the students once they've watched the video and got even more ideas. But I'd like to talk about one more alternative activity, which again really exploits the students' creativity. Removing the sound from the video, as I've already done, I like to get students to imagine that this is not a TV ad for clothes, but it is, in fact, for example, a wildlife documentary, a BBC wildlife documentary, or a tourist board advertisement. Come and visit this wonderful place with young people. Or it might be a documentary about a social issue, or it might be a comedy program. It might be anything that they can imagine. You can give them some ideas and then they can provide a voiceover. I often give them a way to start, and imagining that this one is a wildlife video, it might start in the classic voice of BBC wildlife guru David Attenborough. It might start by saying, "As we all know, young people are taking over the world. But these youngsters are special." It is actually a very good thing to get your students to imitate David Attenborough. Even if they can't do the voice, the phrasing is so perfect. Encouraging them to take a pause, to group their ideas carefully and sound informed and authoritative and confident just by slowing down and inserting pauses. We can also give them specific language that they can include. I chose typical language from the 12th year syllabus, so not only, 11th year syllabus, not only, but also both and, neither or, etc. So they can use this language in their wildlife documentary voiceover. They work in pairs or small groups to make a little script, and then they can share with another pair, with another group, and then the best ones or the favorite ones can share with the class their ideas for a possible new voiceover for the video. Let's just come back to the video. So here we are, BBC wildlife documentary about young people. As we all know, young people are taking over the world. But these young people are special. Not only do their clothes explode, but also their shoes disappear and appear instantaneously. They are expert sailors, and they can carry loads of up to half a kilogram. Unfortunately, they have neither learned not to draw on their clothes, nor, despite their footballing skills, have some of them learned yet to cut their nails. But one thing they have in common is that they are all determined, enthusiastic, and dedicated to one cause. And that cause is, of course, hair care. Okay, I had fun doing that. Students will come up with all sorts of imaginative, creative, and wildly different approaches to this wildlife mockumentary. It gives them a chance to apply language they've just been studying. It gives them a chance to be a bit entertaining and a bit creative, as I say, and a bit funny. And it gives them a chance to practice being David Attenborough, which has got to be a good thing for any young person these days. So there we go. That's another way to possibly approach a voiceover. I often give them a topic as well as a type of, or instead of a type of video. So they might be talking about football, they might be talking about holidays, they might be talking about climate change, they might be talking about a range of different things, especially useful when you have two people in the video in a dialogue and they can invent new dialogue for those people and put new words into their mouths. They'll really enjoy it. It gives them a great chance to be creative. So there we go. A range of activities which I hope you can apply when you're using video in your classrooms, especially for getting inside the video and predicting what's coming. There's a whole range of built-in activities in the Step Up book to help you exploit everything that's there. Enjoy. So thank you everyone for making the time to be here with us today. We hope you've taken away some useful ideas or activities about how to use high tech or video in the classroom, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next Step Up webinar. Bye for now.